starting the recording now. Okay, we're officially recording something.
Cool. Hello.
Hi. Okay, now I see you. So nice to talk to you in not in person, but yeah, on the phone, I guess, on the computer.
Yeah,
Thank you so much for doing this. Um,
that's all good.
I have a couple of things that I would just like to cover before we start, just so you sort of know the I don't know the ambition around this. And one is, I will not share anything without sharing it with you first. So after this thing is
Excellent.
done, I'll send it to you like in an unlisted YouTube link, and you can have a look. And if there's anything you want to cut out or change, or whatever, if you don't want to share anything, just let me know. And obviously, I'll take anything that will be shared as a bonus, but there's no pressure around anything, of course.
Of
Um,
course.
that was the first part. The second part was like I have a couple of questions that I was hoping that we could go through, but none of them are more important than just letting the conversation sort of go where it takes us. So we don't have to stick to the agenda. And um, again, like everything is, of course, like completely voluntary. So if I ask you something that you don't want to answer, you don't have to answer it. And the other ones that I've done so far have been around an hour, sometimes a little bit over, sometimes a little bit less. Uh, and yeah, I think that's about it. Oh, right. In terms of I don't know, some of the people that I've spoken to have been more on the anonymous side. Like obviously, I won't share anything other than your username in the title of the video. Anything that goes beyond that is like up to you. I won't probe too far into it, but if you want to share stuff, obviously you can.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
As long
Um,
as nobody makes my accent.
no, it'll be good. Um, yeah, I have a first question, which is, why did you agree to be interviewed for this?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't either. I'm a bit nervous.
It's
I
good to
don't like
be.
to talk much. No,
Oh, is that
no,
so?
I like talking. I like talking about things. But mainly because you seem like a really nice person. You know, you seem like you're very unjudgmental, and I can like kind of trust that.
Yeah, of
Um,
course, of course.
and yeah, we've been chatting, like been mutuals for a while, and it'd be nice to face to face chat,
Yeah,
I guess.
I agree.
Something a little different. I've never done this before,
You
so
know, it's
why
it's
not?
funny to me. I think of you as like a celebrity. I don't know if you're aware of this, but like
I'm not
I've
aware.
I've I've seen your account since I don't know, years back, um, and you were always this like mythical sort of person that would post really funny things or really aesthetically pleasing things, and you know, and it just seemed like you're a world away because you are. I think you're in Australia, right? Um,
Yep.
and you were one of the first people that I saw using Instagram for other than sharing photos of like your friends or um, a glass of champagne or wine or like your
Yeah,
travel.
the breakfast, all that
Yeah,
fun stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So you were one of the first people that I saw use it almost like an art form, or whatever you would call it. And so yeah, I followed you for a long time, and I think you have a pretty amazing account in that um, I think you view things differently from most people in a way that's really appealing to me.
Thank
So
you.
yeah,
That's very nice of you to
yeah,
say.
no, for sure. Who is behind you? Who's the cat?
Oh, Schmeichel.
Because so maybe I'm like too caught up in the oh my god, it's so cute. Um, I might be too caught up in the lore, as the Gen Zers would say, but I know you have Ilva and you have Juice Box. No, sorry, Juice Boss.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, Jim Boss. And this is Schmeichel. This is my housemate's cat, but we hang out all the time.
amazing. Yeah, it's
He's
very
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 cute.
sweet.
He's the
Um,
naughtiest one. He's a bit evil.
oh,
They all are,
yeah, that's what
right?
cats are. You have a very I think special relationship with animals. Um, could you tell us? Could you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, they're just my first friends.
Yeah.
Um, like I just kind of spent a lot of time alone as a kid, but I always had my cat,
Mm.
and I always like was always sick, like moving schools and stuff. We had to move house a lot, Um, and yeah, I always had my pets, and there was always bugs outside as well to kind of get to know. Speaking of, they're fighting. Sorry,
Oh, okay. You go break it up.
all three of them are fighting over the heater.
Oh.
Um,
So wait. Oh, it's like winter. Wait. How does it work again? It's cold where you are.
yeah, it's really stormy.
Oh wow.
It's like, yeah,
Okay.
it's
That's
okay. Like we need it. So that's what a lot of Australians say when
yeah.
it's raining,
Sure.
unnecessarily raining.
Here where I am, there have been forest fires in the like, general region, and today when I woke up, the sky was like a little bit orange yellowish, and it was really strange, and I could feel it stinging my eyes because yeah, just like the smoke from the fires and stuff. But it's like summer's on
Damn,
its way here.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
really intense.
yeah. It feels a
Yeah, it's just
little upside down.
yeah, very upside down.
Yeah,
It's just been raining. Everything's flooding. People have got their canoes out in the car park. It's great.
yeah.
So,
So in the next hour, I guess, or just about, what would you like for this interview to be about? Is there anything in particular that you would like to cover?
I've already shown you the cats,
Yeah.
so not in particular. It's kind of why I'm jumping straight into it. It's
Yeah.
just kind of like, eh,
All right.
whatever goes, whatever fits. I don't know. Yeah. Guess obviously
Yep. That's a big one.
what you already brought up. We can just do that. Maybe I don't know. I can talk about lots of things. So
That's good. So as you can tell, I have this like big fluffy thing on my microphone, and it's to help when I say like the P sound or if I blow air or stuff, it won't be as noticeable or it won't cut into the like the audio recording. But this
yeah,
actual thing, it's called a dead cat. Like it's made from polyester or whatever. Like it's nothing. But they named it the dead cat, and I know the company that makes them used to get like threatening letters and stuff from people who thought they actually put dead cats on top of their microphones. Yeah.
that was me.
Yeah. So I know just the other day you posted in your story um, there's a dead rat in your freezer.
Yeah,
Could you share that story?
I can go get him if you want.
That's okay. I'm fine with just knowing that it's there.
Yeah. Well, Ilva killed him.
Oh
Well,
no.
I got him little baby,
Yeah.
and yeah, I got him from work, pet shop.
Hmm.
And he was a bit too small for the bars in the cage, and she just kind of reached up in and grabbed him out and left him presented nicely on my rug in my bedroom.
Yeah.
It was horrible. I was very sad. It was
I'm
like,
sorry to hear that. But then how do you go from from that to oh, there she is.
is she
The little homicidal person. Yeah.
the homicidal maniac herself?
Yeah. But how did the rat end up in your freezer?
Oh yeah, because he's really really beautiful.
Yeah.
He's got these beautiful like not triangle diamond
Hmm.
shaped patterns on his eyes, and I've never seen that before.
It's
And like
amazing. Yeah.
working with animals, I see a lot of rats, and I've never seen one like him. So I just wanted to preserve him and like taxidermy him one day.
Okay. And you can like freeze them indefinitely while you wait for that?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Like it's best to not wait because their fur and everything can get a little bit
Hmm.
weird and hard to shape and deal with.
Hmm.
But if you don't mind about what it really looks like in the end, you can leave it for forever. It might be hard to separate the skin from the insides,
Hmm.
but I've never left one this long before, so I
All
know.
right. Well, I'm crossing my fingers for you that it works out.
Thank you. Yeah, I just need the space to do it because I can't do it around the cats. Obviously, they'll eat
Oh,
it.
you would do this yourself?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And you know how to
I
do
don't
this
really
stuff?
know what I'm doing.
You know how to do
Right?
taxidermy?
A little,
Wow.
like not like really well, and I've
Okay.
never done like a before,
Yeah.
but I've yeah dabbled, I guess.
That's amazing. And I
Don't
know
worry.
you work with animals, you mentioned. I believe you're like a vet tech or something like that, right?
Yeah, vet nurse.
Vet nurse. Okay, so that's a relatively recent thing, if I'm not mistaken. Like in the past few years.
Sort of.
Yeah.
It's pretty like in the UK and in Australia, it's been around for a while.
Mm.
Um, and yeah, kind of vet tech and vet nurse do semi mush together,
Mm.
but they're also slightly different. I don't really know how because you can kind of learn everything when you're at the position outside of being a veterinarian. If you've got insurance and everything, you can just kind of yeah learn it.
But this was
Um,
something that you started pursuing relatively recently too. Is
oh
my
me, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So I thought you meant like vet nurses in general.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I've wanted to do it for a long time.
Mm.
Like I did my animal studies like years ago, which allowed me to then get into vet nursing and stuff. Been probably working towards it for about 9 years now.
Wow.
Finally did it, and then I got really sick, so I had to pull out and wait another year to finish it. But yeah, that was
Oh, maybe like
it.
that. Maybe that was around the time where I started following you then, because I know you were like going back to school for it. I think. I don't know. I'm
Mm,
not entirely sure, but I think something like that. Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I have questions relating to some of that too, but maybe as a um, thing to just set the stage, I'm curious about your Instagram account and how it sort of started and your thoughts around it. So can you tell me about like the early days of you being on Instagram?
It was my personal account. I just kind of one day started posting art that I liked, and other people would be like, "This made me feel good as well."
Yeah.
So I had that. I found something that makes me feel good, and then it makes somebody else feel good. Like that's kind of how it just started, and then it was just kind of like people related, um, made like little friends and stuff in the phone, like you,
Yeah.
and it's just pleasant. Like it's just like a nice little experience to have. Um,
And when was this?
I probably started posting pictures. The account would have started about 9 years ago,
Okay.
and then I maybe had it for like a year, and then started posting more of whatever I felt like
Mm.
instead of it being like, oh, I should cats or like what I'm doing day to day. I don't really want to share that with people.
Mm.
Um, Share things in my story. They're more like little snippets there. Like you don't really know where I am or like what I'm really doing. You might know that I'm at home because you'll recognize like being in my house. But I don't really not big on I guess sharing of what's going on with me. It's more just like, hey, look, here's this thing that made me feel a certain thing.
Mm.
Whether that's like a real deep like feeling of sadness and grief, or the lightest feeling of like beauty and purity. Like you can just kind of get that through images,
Yeah,
and
definitely. And
some other people do too.
and I mean, for me, like I mentioned, I think you were one of the first people that I discovered that had you turned the platform into like an art form in itself, and specifically with you, I think you have a relationship with death, which is very. It's hard to put this stuff into words because it's not something that I talk about in my daily life, but you have a very accepting view of death, or it seems like it's very present, but it's not just like doom and gloom and something that's scary. It's also something that you see a lot of beauty in and a lot of sometimes like humor and stuff in too, which is a perspective again that I see in your account that it's rare to come across. Like I know a couple of others, that sort of make out the foundation of the people I like to follow, but I see that on your account. Would you say that is there something to that, or am I delusional?
Yeah, definitely. Like, well, I would have started the account when my mum became terminal with
Mm-hmm.
cancer,
Mm-hmm.
um, and she was quite sick as I was growing up, and I think because of, yeah, I don't know, just seeing spirits and shit as a kid, just death was a very normal kind of thing to expect. It just comes with life. I learned that very, very young.
Mm.
And so when it really started kicking into my life, with my mum and everything, it, yeah, I guess the feelings leaped through to sharing things on the internet. just kind of accepting it as it is, and just that was kind of a way to navigate life and death, like through art, I guess.
Mm.
That's kind of how I guess that maybe is how it started, because I maybe wouldn't have felt as much passion about imagery if I weren't, crying deeply on the inside eternally, like forever and ever. Like
Yeah.
it was, yeah, a strange, inevitable situation. Um, but sharing things that made me feel more grounded with it allowed me to navigate it better,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
then
And if you're a person that have, bigger emotions, I think maybe they tend to resonate with others that are similar. So I, myself, like in my upbringing, I had a younger brother who passed away from being sick for a long time when I was 14. Like very formative years,
yeah,
and those emotions, they go somewhere, right? And obviously they translate into sort of the online space as well, and they come across in how you view the world, I suppose. Um,
yeah, and I'm very good with words. Like I like to think that I am, but I'm not great at them. So
yeah,
that's where it really come in handy,
yeah,
you know.
yeah. I agree.
And yeah, so that was, yeah, just kind of, it's helpful, and it just stayed like that. Like I've been on a real big healing journey the last, yeah, 8, 9, almost 10 years now.
Yeah,
Um, and that is portrayed through what I post, and yeah, that's pretty
and
much.
and is Instagram part of that experience, or is it just like something that happens to be close by? I mean, do you go on Instagram for therapeutic reasons, or is Instagram just a thing that where you spend your time anyway?
Yeah, a bit of both.
Yeah,
Like sometimes, like I don't know, I don't know about it that much. I'm just kind of like, oh yeah, I'll have a look.
yeah.
Got nothing to do. Um, yeah, I spend public transport a bit as well sometimes, so that's what I'm usually on at the most.
Mm. So
But
what's your relationship to Instagram? Like, how do you spend your time on it? Like, what accounts do you look at, and what do you do?
um, it's interesting at the moment actually, because there's quite a lot of things that are popping up in my feed that are extremely opposite with opinions and ideas and the way the world should be working and all of that.
Mm.
Um, Seeing a lot of like anti-trans and then pro-trans stuff like all at once. It's really weird. Like on my For You page, and it's all, and then obviously there's just random like animal stuff, and I don't know. I get a lot of like videos from other countries, really random ones, that I kind of seek out because they're really funny and
Yeah,
it's fun. I
yeah.
seek out a lot of humor. I look for, yeah, I guess a lot of artists and stuff to see what, I guess, what they're doing, like what they're up to. Not really that actually. I don't know. I just kind of look at whatever's there, but I've curated it, like hit certain words and names and
Mm.
things that don't pop up. It's more about what I don't want. Like I'm pretty happy to see whatever. So
So
I've hidden a lot of like,
so tell me more about the things you don't want to see.
just all that, pop culture bullshit.
Yeah.
All
So
the lizard people, the,
so if I start
the
sharing like Kardashian
with
memes
their,
with you, it's not for you.
yeah, nah.
Yeah.
Well, it'll go right over my head, but if I'm feeling a bit sensitive, I'm gonna be like, well,
Right.
um, but
I'll try to not
yeah,
do
I don't know.
that
I
then.
just I prefer things that, yeah, make me laugh and make me think,
Yeah. And you said
and
that
not about either.
you're more of a private person, so you don't share a lot of what you do and where you are and stuff. Do you follow people like your friends from real life on Instagram, or is it mostly content and art and humor and stuff?
Well, over the years, a lot of the real life friends have kind of been like, hey, I'm so sorry, but I can't follow you anymore. Which is fair enough. I do
Why
have
is
another
that? Why do they say that?
when
Yeah, like what's behind it?
I just when I was posting more like medical stuff and more like grim stuff, like body horror kind of, or like kink, just a mix of, I guess, darker stuff that would get reported, which I
Uh,
can't post anymore. So
so wait,
yeah,
I was thinking about that. You're on your second account, right? Is that right?
I have two accounts,
Yeah.
but this is my original one.
Oh,
This,
okay,
yeah,
okay. Because I
yeah.
I don't know why, but I had it in my head that your like the second P in your username was like new somehow, and then I thought maybe you just had one that was Swamp Bug without the double P's, but it was two P's all along.
No, I used to have it as SW0, like
Oh,
swamp.
yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, yeah,
And yeah, but then someone stole Swamp Bug, the handle,
yeah,
and like sent me a nasty message, just like obviously knowing exactly what they're doing,
yeah.
being like, ah, fucking score, like, and then blocked me. Um, that was, yeah, it was, I don't know, it's just so rude.
What a
So
what a
they've
petty
still got
thing to
it.
do. Yeah.
So now I have to have the double P. So
But
just
then
sad.
again, like it's the little idiosyncrasy. I don't know. It stands out a little bit more, maybe. Um,
Maybe.
what?
I wonder what they get tagged, though, if people think they're tagging me and then they tag this random.
Yeah, it's true.
And they don't post either. It's really. Anyways,
Yeah, yeah. What's the story behind your username? Like, where did it come from?
my head. I don't know. I just thought of it. I liked it. I like swamps. I like bugs. That's literally it.
But
They
yeah,
make me.
but you spell it with an O, right? Isn't it spelled with an A? I don't know. English is my second language, but I'm trying here.
I think the O just looks nicer and it's funner to say, like swamp.
Yeah,
Swamp.
sounds swampier. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
um,
Maybe it's Australian, we say swamp. I'm kidding. We don't say swamp. We say swamp.
um, you've been on Instagram for 9 years. You post a lot of well things that are all over the place in terms of just emotions and feelings and more extreme things and more I don't know. You post like cute little beautiful things too. It's like all over the place. Um, how do you feel about your online footprint as a whole?
Nervous. I don't like to think about it. No.
Really?
Yeah. No. I get nervous that like yeah, some people will take advantage of things that I share, but it doesn't matter. I
How
guess.
so?
Like, I don't know if I accidentally have like my ID in the background or something. Not
Oh, I
that
see.
I,
Okay, okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
I just see those videos and then people go missing. And it's like, oh my god, that could happen. But that's just my
Wow.
imagination.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I
Where's
don't
that
know.
coming from?
Pardon?
Where's that emotion coming from?
Well, I mean, I had to spend because I guess yeah, it comes from growing up, being adopted, and my blood dad believing that I was stolen.
Oh.
So he was always on the look for me. Do you know what I mean? He was always like trying to find what school I went to, trying to find out where my mom. Like that's why we had to move a lot. Um, yeah. So I think I will always have this kind of, I guess, paranoia in my brain of like I need to be protective like, of myself
Mm.
and not hide. Like, and that's another Instagram has taught me I don't need to hide like I did growing up as well because I did like I would never post photos of myself ever. Like the fact that it's like my face in my stories,
Mm.
that's only like 2 or 3 years old. Especially with it being most days now. I used
Mm.
to never do that. I never could, but now I can.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, that's where that comes from.
Yeah.
Just
Okay. Okay.
having to yeah, not really having to protect myself a lot as a
Yeah.
kid.
Okay. That. Well, I don't think. I think you used the word paranoia. I wouldn't call it paranoia when it comes from a place like that. But I understand. Um,
Yeah.
where do you see your account going in the future?
Hopefully it just stays there like forever. Like I might, just get a little bored and drift away from it one day and hopefully it just kind of stays up there.
Yeah.
So I can always access it. It's really just the earliest post I care about the most.
Yeah.
Just because like that was more like personal stuff that I won't really ever get back. Whereas all the images that I share that aren't, mine, I'll find them someday again, maybe. But yeah, it just kind of stays there. Um, I don't really have any plans for it. I never really have. I didn't expect like people, yeah, relationships to form on it. I didn't expect followers. I
Yeah.
didn't expect anything like that. So I don't really have anything for it. I just hope it stays there forever.
As a like a repository, or something that you continue to engage with?
Bit of both, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just kind of decide like if I want to leave it alone, I can, and it's still there. Hello, my housemate's waving at me.
All right. Can be a like a little
Um,
group interview if you want. um, are they
just woke
aware
up.
of your Instagram account?
Pardon?
Do they know of your Instagram account? The people around you?
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Everybody knows about it. It's
Okay.
up to them if they follow it.
Yeah.
Except for people at work. Oh no, some people at work know about it.
Mm.
Um, yeah, like one person follows, but they usually, yeah, I have like a small amount of people in real life that still follow me. Like my sister doesn't do, but nobody else in my family does.
Mm.
Yeah, but yeah, it's just yeah.
And you mentioned before that you had someone saying that they couldn't follow you anymore because it was too much for them. But generally, what's the response from the people around you? What do they say?
Sorry, there's a lawnmower going on.
Oh, oh, that's what it is. I'm curious. Like, what do the people around you say about your account? What's the response?
Um, they show their friends.
Yeah.
Like if there's someone else in the room, they're like, "Oh my god, Crystal's Instagram, it's so weird," and I'm just sitting there like, it's embarrassing for me because I'm shy. I guess I'm very like I don't mind it. I'm not sitting there like I wouldn't, but it is a bit like, oh cool, there's my brain. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah. Yeah.
now you know me, or at least you think you do, and that's weird. Um,
So
but
that
yeah,
makes a lot of sense to me actually, because a lot of the people that I've talked to, you know, or sort of in this little bubble of people that post stuff online, um, a lot of them say that they're shy, or they will feel like, oh, I don't know if I can do an interview, or do I have to show my face, or they're very nervous. And these are people that have 50,000, 100,000 followers, whatever, like big accounts that have been active for years, and they are very very sensitive about just like being perceived, um, which is so
yeah,
interesting to me.
because well, I'm like really shy and
Yeah,
don't really want people to pay attention to me.
yeah.
And they're like, I can show you my sweat patches. Like that's fine. I don't care about that. You know what I mean? Like that shit's in my story. You'll see that.
Yeah.
But and I'll happily talk about a lot of deep things that
Well, that's
can make
kind of what
up.
I'm thinking. The things that you do share are sort of the things that you share with your therapist after having gone for 10 years, like the things that are
Yeah,
deeply, deeply personal. That stuff, it's out there
but
for the
it's
world to see.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's just kind of making it normal for me,
Yeah.
and it
Yeah,
is
of course.
normal for me.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're taught to hold back a lot, and
Yeah.
I, I never found that helpful.
I agree. And even from ourselves, I know I do some journaling just for me. I don't share it with anyone. I just type my thoughts and, here's what I did today. And there's some old saying like if you want the darkness to go away, the best way of doing it is shining a light on it. And just really like removing the thoughts and the emotions from your head and just putting them on paper in front of you can give you this completely different perspective on things that is so helpful, because a lot of things that you don't question actively, they just like fester and they become scary and dark and stuff. And I think images and memes and whatever interesting things, it's similar. It's just you bring to light some sort of perspective or concept that people don't generally think about.
Yeah,
Yeah. Um,
yeah. No, in saying that as well, like getting things out, like on paper, like talking to yourself as well,
yeah.
but actually listening to what you're saying and how you're saying it can be like one of the most therapeutic things I've found as well. Um, it's weird because even though I'm not good with rundowns, I'm good sometimes with saying it,
Hmm.
so I can get it out that way at least.
Yeah.
I'll never make videos or anything about it. No
Yeah.
way. No one's listening to that. But yeah, I find things like that really helpful as well. Just kind of getting it out. That's kind of what being human's all about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, it's fun.
Um,
It comes in many forms.
what do you talk to your cats about?
Everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're the best. They listen all the time. Talk back sometimes. Yeah, they're
Nice.
pretty cool. Um, just kind of I ask them how their day was, and then depending on how they meow, depends on if they're dead. Obviously, it's all different.
Yeah.
um, yeah, I don't know. I've always chatted to them.
Nice.
Um, yeah, they're a lot of fun.
So we have a cat too, and the cat, I would say that he broadly tolerates me. You know, like he's okay with me. We coexist. The My partner is the clear favorite, like clear favorite. But then whenever she's not around, or she's working, or she's out running an errand, then the cat is my cat, and all of a sudden he's like all purry, and he squints his eyes, and he just wants to like be in my face.
Oh,
Uh,
bless.
yeah, but it's funny because otherwise, when she's around, we have much more of a uh, I don't know, like maybe it's more testosterone. I don't know what it is. We just sort of goof around and play a lot, but
Yeah,
the
cats
intimacy and
pick
like the
that up.
snuggles and stuff, that's not with me. Yeah,
Yeah, cats do pick that up.
yeah, yeah, definitely,
Um,
definitely.
they're very like, oh yeah, you're the man. You're the one I can
Yeah,
dance with and like just be a nut with. And then with the lady partner,
yeah,
they tend to be very yeah. No, my best friend was talking about that.
yeah,
Um, and it's true. Cats are very sensitive and pick up on a lot.
yeah. I think so. Sorry, I get.
And
Oh
fighting.
no, what a little jerk. Um, what how do you think your life would be different if it hadn't been for Instagram?
Sorry, guys. They're getting really rough.
Oh no.
How would it be different?
Yeah.
And I feel like quiet. I feel like it would be. I'd probably have an outdoor hobby. um, yeah, I don't know because it'd probably be similar. Like I'd still have the same interests and stuff like that, but I'd probably feel a lot more alone for sure,
Mm.
as most people would without their like otherworldly kind of connections.
Yeah.
Because it's a privilege, I guess. It's a bit evil as well, but it's a privilege that we've got ways to connect with each other like this, so you don't feel like you're absolutely mad. Because you look at all the writers and stuff when they wrote all their books like 100 years ago, and they're absolutely insane with their thoughts and stuff. Like imagine if they could actually hang out together in a room or like through a telephone. They'd probably the books probably wouldn't be there, but they'd be a lot happier, or like at least a lot less alone.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I think I just feel a bit more insane.
Yeah. I
Just a
think
bit
you're right.
more like with especially with collecting dead things. It's nice to know that there's people out there that also do that,
Hmm.
because the people right next to you, unless you like find your niche and work with that for like 8 years, then you will might find like with me with like the pet industry and vet industry. It was a while for me to find people that I work with who enjoyed that stuff as well or who understood it.
Hmm.
Um, but on the internet, it was immediate.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like I would probably spend a lot more time searching for connections if I didn't have like Instagram.
I don't know if you feel the same, but I can sometimes feel like there's almost like a stigma around having an online community. Like it's worth less somehow,
Yeah,
or it's not as
yeah,
refined, or the status is different.
yeah,
But I think it's, first of all, it's changing. Because more and more people have those bonds. They have their people that they play Call of Duty with, or they send memes at work and stuff. And like it's changing in a way where just a few years ago it was not the same. But I also think of things like online dating, like people on Tinder or Hinge, or yeah, whatever, Grinder, whatever these things are. Um, that just a few years ago it was not taken seriously. It's like, no,
yeah,
you can't find love online. Only nerds do that, or dorks that spend too much time in front of computers. But now it's like it's so natural, and it's just like this connective tissue for the types of relationships you want to form. So I don't know. Maybe my hope is for the future that it continues to be this, because I very much feel the same. Like I was I've always been social enough. I've had friends around me and stuff, but I moved a lot, and then COVID happened, and all of a sudden it was very different, and I felt I don't know if lonely is the right word, but there were certainly were aspects of the relationships that didn't like capture the full spectrum of my experience.
Yeah, there's
But
things missing.
online, it's like you said, it's near instant, and you have people, like yourself, like literally 12 time zones away on the other side of the planet, and it's like, yeah,
Yeah,
you share a hobby together, and it's a little bit like parasocial, sure, but it does. Yeah, I don't know. It's like real at the same time. There are real people behind the posts you see, even if they're just like curated posts.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Quite nice.
Um,
Um,
if you could go back in time, it's now 9 years ago, 2013. Um, Knowing what you know now, would you do anything differently? Would you still start your account? Would you treat it the same?
um, I feel like everything would just, yeah, it would be exactly the same. It started off as like a tool to express and release and heal.
Yeah,
It stayed like that for a long time. And yeah, whether or not I started my Instagram account, I still would have gone through a lot of grief.
yeah.
Um, and yeah, I don't think I would have done anything differently. I maybe would have not stolen, but made the swamp bug handle a
Oh
lot
yeah.
earlier so that bitch didn't get off me when I had zero in it.
Yeah,
But other than that,
it's
I
a
wouldn't
great
really
plan.
change anything.
So funny. Yeah.
So
I,
bitter about that. Better God.
if someone, wait, how do I phrase this? Why would someone follow your account? What's do you have a is there like a strong reason why people follow you specifically? Something you do differently?
I don't know. I feel like everyone has their own little reasons, and that's so much fun.
Yeah.
Like, like slightly similar to each other, but
Mm.
overall, I think it's just the curiosity. Because there's no real with what I post.
Yeah.
So kind of like you don't really know what you're going to get. You don't know if you're going to get like a bunch of like text memes or if you're going to get, ethereal images with a baby's doll's head with maggots coming out of it in the next slide. Like you don't really know. So I think people that appreciate like, yeah, kind of spontaneous posting would follow me. And if they've got big curiosity. But yeah, I think it'll be different for most people, which is fun. I like that.
How did you figure out that you could do what you do? Did you have role models? Did you have people that you saw doing something similar? Or did you just like invent fire all by yourself?
Just kind of did it. I think I
Yeah.
just kind of did it. And then it was like, oh yeah, this, you know, went really like bad. That's funny. I just made people uncomfortable. That's fun.
Yeah.
And I never did anything too extreme. But um yeah, sorry, I've already forgotten the question. Oh.
So are you like that in real life too? Like, do you make people uncomfortable? Are you annoying? Are you funny? Like, who are you?
Oh, I think I'm really funny.
Yeah.
I think people should think they're funny, and if you don't,
Yeah.
then
Ideally. Yeah.
I'm so sorry. But yeah, I mean, like, I think my room kind of represents the page a little bit. Like,
Yeah.
my bugs and the teeth and everything, and I don't know, it's all very similar in a way. Uh, I don't really like. Again, like I didn't go into the account with an idea of what this account's going to be. It was just kind of, here's me.
Yeah.
It is kind of what you see is what you get. I think when people hear me talk, that's a bit unexpected. But as for
How
like
so?
my well, some people have like literally told me they've spat out their drink when they've heard my voice recordings.
What?
Like, oh my God, like I didn't expect it like to be Australian or a bit
Oh.
deeper. But as for like, I don't know, how I just kind of live,
Yeah.
how I decorate, what I do day to day is pretty similar to what you'd see on my Instagram, I'd say.
Yeah.
But some people get ideas, and then we like people in real life. I go, I don't think you're very similar to your Instagram at all. And so that's because you see me as something that I'm not. You know what I mean? And like I don't. Yeah, you were saying earlier, like, oh, I saw you as a celebrity. I don't see that.
No,
at all.
of course, because
But,
you're sort of the center of your perception, right? Like you are the neutral, and everything else is different. Yeah. Um,
um, like yeah, to some people I'd be different in real life
yeah.
because they would think as to what I'm not.
Yeah.
But I think I'm muchness.
Fair enough. How many followers do you have? 10?
10.7K.
Okay.
I
What's
wouldn't say
the most you've had?
around there.
Okay, around there. Okay.
I think I hit like 10.8 once, and then it like went down a minute later.
Yeah, that's
It did
funny.
like that
Um,
a lot for a month and a bit,
yeah,
just like not really, not getting lower, just so
sure.
yeah, I've been kind of ignoring it. It's getting boring. Nothing happening.
How do you feel about your follower count?
um, okay. I don't really like to think about it much.
Why?
Hello, sorry, are you alright? I just want to say hi to Michael. Oh, it's Michael. Yeah, sorry, sorry if you don't. It's hailing. Sorry.
Oh wow, yeah, I can hear it.
I'll show you it.
Yeah.
Can you see it?
No, you're. I don't know. Oh yeah, I can see it. Oh, that's crazy. They're like little golf balls.
Yeah, it's very cold.
Oof.
Anyways, sorry about that.
No, no worries. I asked you how you feel about your follower count, like the 10.7 people.
I feel about it.
Yeah.
I feel not much. I don't know. I don't really think about it. I don't really have a lot of feelings. It's just kind of like when it kind of started picking up. I thought about it. It was like why? And then people talked to me or like replied to stories, being like, "This makes me feel good." Blah
Yeah.
blah blah.
Yeah.
So I get a lot of positivity, so I don't worry or anything. Um, and I don't know. It's just a fascinating little thing.
You
I
said
guess
a lot of positivity. Anything else? Do you get negativity and stuff too?
not a lot.
Yeah,
No,
that's good.
not a lot.
Um,
With the rat video, obviously, but that,
yeah,
I don't know. People, yeah, everyone's different.
yeah, that's right. A frozen dead rat is not for everyone, as they say.
Yeah,
um,
I just
yeah,
that's all.
yeah. What makes a good Instagram account to you?
Um, if they're funny, and if they have like have their own part of who they are in their account, but it's kind of like anonymous still. You know, it's not all about them,
Hmm.
but you still kind of get who the person is, like
Mm.
truly is.
Yeah,
And yeah, you get that through like the types of images they post, the order they post them, the things that they share, that were made by like other people, like opinions and stuff like that. I like it when they're real, but it's also fun when they do seem they do seem like they're literally just a little robot in your phone. Well, that's kind of fun. I mainly just look for humor and art.
yeah, yeah.
Nothing.
I,
Well,
I think that's fair. And to your point, like every so often you'll see someone who's very self-referential, where they talk about themselves as being, this big thing. And I don't know. Some people need to be a little bit more humble, I think, generally, because it's most of us. I don't think we are that interesting, but the things that we see or the opinions that we have, that we are more like unapologetic about, the things that we feel strongly about, even when other people don't agree with us. Those are the things that make us interesting, and yeah, that
mm,
that to me is like a big part of how someone's personality can come across when they say something sort of with even when the risk reward ratio isn't always in their favor, because they just feel it strongly. Maybe it's back to having
exactly.
the big emotions. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I don't really meet a lot of risk when I'm sharing the risky stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, the deep emotions and things. It's kind of like I don't really. I don't know. Like maybe I'm just really selfish, but how that affects someone else, like my experience and me sharing it. Like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe if it's the same things happen to you and it makes you feel sad. But then you got to work on that,
Yeah.
right? It's
Yeah.
just like, I don't know.
Totally.
Um,
Um, One of my questions that I've written down is recommend 3 accounts. Do you have 3 accounts that you like a lot?
well, you already follow them, you already know them.
Well, I do, but then this will be shared with people that might not.
Well, this is like MySpace top 8 all over again.
Yeah, simpler times.
Uh, I'm really bad with remembering account names,
Yeah,
so I might just go with like. Can we get back to this one?
we'll
You
get back to it. Think about it for a little bit longer.
know, it's like, do I have friends or do I pick like new accounts that I've just started following, like that have really like kind of blend like popped up in my eyes, like I don't remember them, so do I just go with my friends?
Yeah, well, don't overthink it, is what I would say, because otherwise you get too political. I don't know if you ever do this thing, but on occasion I will share, like, here are 10 accounts that I think are cool. And they're just
Yeah.
like the top 10 that come into mind for me. Some of them I've followed for, 5 minutes, and some of them I will have followed for 10 years. But every time I do that, I always get some guy, typically, reaching out saying, like, oh, what about me? And then it's someone that, they're pretty funny, they're pretty good, whatever. But then when they do stuff like that, it just makes me want to not follow them anymore. I don't know. I
Yeah.
think there's a lot of nuance and, like, etiquette around Instagram that's unspoken, but it makes a lot of sense to me. But I guess people didn't get the memo, or they don't have the same sensibilities, maybe.
There
Um,
is one in my head though.
yeah,
I noticed
let's hear it.
them as well. The XSLTD.
Oh, what a great account.
But when I started following them, and they had like minimal followers,
Yeah,
and and like stayed the same. Like the content has just stayed so good,
yeah,
and like nothing has. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like it's really, really well curated for such minimal efforts. It seems,
yeah,
um, and the themes in every post as well all match up, and they're all so wild. Every single video is just like, where do you find this? I don't know.
yeah.
It's a really good account that I've been following for a while, and it's always been really good content. Like,
Totally agree.
mm,
XSLTD. It took me a long time to figure out that they weren't called, like, Exalted, but then I figured out how to remember it, and it's by thinking extra small limited. So that's how I can remember it now.
good.
Okay, that's a good one. If you think of others, just, like, chime in whenever. Um, so what you're doing on Instagram, again, like, I'm obviously biased because I followed you for a long time and I think you're cool, but there's some sort of skill around it. I think, the way you view the world, your taste, the way you curate stuff, whatever it is. Like, it's something that's unique and refined to me. My question for you is this something that can be taught?
Um, I don't. It can be shown, but I don't know. Like I've had people ask me, like a friend, kind of go like, how do you think of these things? What do you do? What's your process? There's literally not any. Maybe for some accounts, but I think just because mine's genuinely a personal account,
Yeah,
it's just yeah, just I can show you kind of what I'll do, but I can't explain or teach. I don't know, and I could probably I don't know. I don't think I can really teach it, but I'm really normally really good at teaching things as well. But
then
not
my follow-up question. Yeah, I don't know. I think what makes a good account stand out to me is when people are themselves, obviously, but I think there's a little bit more to it. I feel like I can be myself in a room with, my best friend, or, my grandmother type relationships, and I'm a very different person, but I'm still myself in a room of, like, business executives or an audience of 200 people. I'm still
yeah,
me, but
yeah.
my tone
You just
shifts. Like, of course, Um, do you do you ever go back and look at the stuff that you post and feel like this wasn't the right tone, even if you're posting something that you feel is true to yourself, that it,
mm.
like, read the room wrong, or, something along those lines? Do you ever go back and like review what you post?
Sometimes, like with old
Mm.
stories that I would post, when I was like drinking too much.
Uh,
Dumb motherfucking bitch. Like, why would you like share that shit? And just kind of, yeah, that makes me obviously reflect on how I was back then and
mm,
all that stuff. So I don't really think I regret posting it, because
mm.
looking back, it's like, god damn, I have come a really long way. Like, that's awesome. Um,
Wow, what a like wise and mature thing to think. You know, I could probably say that, but then, I don't think I wouldn't think that I've progressed. I would think that I was a little bit behind back then, you know? Like the perspective is so constructive. I don't know.
thanks.
Yeah, well, I guess. I don't know. I feel like every time I go back more than, I don't know, 6 months, I just cringe pretty hard. And I don't necessarily know why. I feel like when people have, crazy hairstyles and 10 years ago, that's kind of how I feel about my old posts for some
I think
reason.
it's I don't know. Yeah, because I don't have a lot of how things were like 8 years ago or so.
Yeah.
I find joy in even like the shit that's a bit, yeah, hard to look at, or like, oh man, I said that. It's still like, yeah, I did say that. I was a bit like that back then. That's so funny,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. All right.
I think
Fair enough.
is the ultimate sign of, yeah, I've learned to, because otherwise you wouldn't cringe. Can you imagine if you didn't cringe at that stuff? That would be even worse.
Yeah, but what
It'd
a
be so,
what a good, nice existence where you can just like flow through life and be content.
yeah. Like if you look back at yourself at 15, you go, yeah, I was pretty cool. It was like, you're probably a loser now. Like, back at yourself,
Yeah. Fair enough.
you
Yeah.
know, the like, in my personal opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, what was the last reason you what was the reason you last followed or unfollowed someone?
Hmm. Um, oh, it's usually like if it's a medical page that's just started becoming only ads
Hmm.
and like only content instead of it being actual medical procedures and stuff. Some pages, yeah, like the big medical ones that I follow, sometimes they all sell out. And the ones that like suddenly just become porn, it's like, okay, cool. um, I think it was like a medical page that I recently unfollowed because it was um, just, yeah, all the videos just started having advertisements all over it. Like,
But the medical pages don't become porn typically, right?
no, one had
Oh wow.
like really weirdly, it was like a, yeah, Eastern European page, that medical page,
Mm.
and then it just became a porno page basically.
Wow.
And I was like, well, this isn't
I'm
my
a little
interest.
bit
I will.
I'm a little bit curious about that one now, but yeah. That's so funny. Okay. And last time you followed someone, what was it that appealed to you?
um her art. She's a photographer,
Hmm.
and she's like with like self portraits and stuff as well. Um, and yeah, things. I don't know. I tend to follow people if they seem kind of like minded as well. Um, if I feel like we could be friends, I'm just collecting friends on the internet and just grabbing them all.
Right.
You know,
Adding them to the list. That's nice.
part of my cult. Then I'll
Yeah.
get.
But it's funny you use that word. I think a lot of the people that I follow and I like, like the sort of foundation of the people I follow, they have cult like followers. There is very much like an understanding of the context and their background and the lore and all that stuff. Again, like I I don't know what it is, but it's yeah something that you post, like it resonates clearly with like a lot of people. And I know that there are pages that have 5 million followers and stuff, as opposed to the 10,000. But the 10,000 that are like the right followers can be worth a lot too. And I don't mean that in a monetary sense. I mean it just like culturally. Like that's a lot of people to have that are like minded. A lot of friends to collect. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's fun. Um, I don't really collect them, by the way.
Yeah, you do. No.
Collect cats.
Yeah, that's right. Um, okay, and let's see.
Hmm?
That's funny. No, I like the idea of collecting friends. Um, is there anything that you would like to add? Anything that we didn't talk about at enough sufficient length?
Um, I mean, probably, but I can't remember at
Yeah,
the
that's
moment.
fine. Fair enough. And on that note,
Can I show you my cat?
yeah, of course.
He's gonna hate, so I've got to be quick.
Yeah, yeah. Let's do it.
Here she is.
This is Juice Boss, right?
This is the Juice Boss.
Yeah. What a beautiful cat.
Beautiful cat. She loves me so much.
Nice. Well, you're fortunate. Um, what is something that you wish more people knew? Big or small, can be anything.
Oh man, lots of things. Like mainly with animals, just how their brains work and stuff, and how to really understand them, help them. I wish more people knew just how to connect with the ones that don't speak, whether that be like animals or like ghosts or some shit, yeah, bugs and stuff. I wish that was more common and people allowed themselves, because I think everyone can do it. Everyone can definitely do it,
Yeah.
but they just can't allow themselves for some reason. And I wish they knew that it was okay to, and it's not like a weird thing or a skill. It's actually just how we're kind of built, like to connect with these things.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I wish that was yeah. I wish people knew to embrace that. It'd be really fun. I think things would just be a lot nicer.
How would the world be different if people did that?
Well, we would have a better ecosystem. We'd respect things a bit more. Um, Animals would live longer. They'd be a lot healthier. I mean, I might not have much of a vet nursing job, but I don't know. It's yeah, just animals. Yeah, should be looked after, and all the things should be. And it would just be. Sorry, my housemate was there.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah.
And yeah, and understanding like the I don't know what the word is. Bad with words. Just all the levels that come with life, you know, and death. And that's all normal and very exciting, I think.
Something to look forward to.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's yeah. You can't be wrong and you can't be right. That's really beautiful, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Um, I guess we're sort of nearing time. What was this interview like compared to your expectations?
Well, that's the good thing about not having expectations is so it was pretty chill afterwards. It was fun. Um, it was kind of again didn't want to think too. I overthink, so I didn't want to think about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I would have gotten a bit nervous. But yeah, no, it was fun. I've enjoyed talking to you.
Yeah, likewise. You're a very nice person. Um, if
So are you?
we realize that there are things that were left unsaid, and there's a part two in the future, would it be okay with you if I maybe reach out and suggest that we do this again sometime?
Yeah, of course.
Nice. Um,
Oh yeah.
who who should I talk to next?
I think you should talk to Breeding Castle.
Yeah, I would love that. Um, yeah,
Training.
yeah.
I
I'll
think she'd be really fun to talk to.
I'll
And she's got a nice voice.
yeah, yeah, she does. Okay, I'll reach out to her. I'll tell her you are endorsing the interview. Um, okay, last question I have. Do you have any questions for me?
Um, where is your cat?
I think he is two rooms behind me, sitting next to my partner, who is playing Zelda and sleeping in a little like a little pretzel formation, as he tends to do. Yeah.
Mm.
But
So
then the other day we gave him like flea medication, put that thing on the back of his neck.
I love, I love that.
No, so he was very upset and did a lot of meowing right after, and then he was being a bit of a weirdo loner, like hanging out alone in bed, in the
Yeah,
bedroom, just because I
stuff.
think he felt a little bit betrayed. So yeah,
Yeah.
he's close to where I am, but I wouldn't be able to pinpoint it. Yeah,
Oh, and my cat hates it.
yeah,
She always panics. It's all over the back of her neck.
yeah,
It's very.
yeah. It's tough.
I
Um,
was gonna ask. A question came into my head. Let me see if I can remember it.
sure.
With yeah, that's right. I feel like because how long have you had your account for? Like your one before the one you've got now.
Yeah. So I think it depends a little bit on how you look at it. I wouldn't call myself like an early adopter, but maybe 2013, 14, I got into like my personal account. Every so often I would share something that I thought was, funny, and then two people would be really excited about me sharing it, and then most of my friends and family would be like, "What's wrong with Simon?" And they never
Yeah.
they never really directly engaged with me, and so I felt like they were observing me a little, and that made me feel um, self-conscious. And so at some point in time, the decision came about to like start something that was a little bit removed from just my personal stuff. I think this was either immediately preceding or right after the pandemic started.
Mm.
So around that same time, and this was a time of like online frenzy. I found myself in a bunch of group chats, and some of them had like celebrities in them, and a couple of bigger accounts, and they would promote my stuff because they thought that I was funny or interesting or something. And then it grew a lot, and then as it grew, there was some, yeah, I don't know, like frenzy is probably a good word. A little bit of crazy hype around it, and fame. I guess it felt like. And
Mm.
and then I spent more time doing it and got to meet a bunch of people, like we talked about. And then I at some point I started getting a little bit nervous, and I thought maybe I should do a backup account, which was largely dormant. Um, and then I think early April, my big account was deleted, having something like 62,000 followers. And then I went back to this little one, and that's where I spend most of my time now, most of my free time.
Yeah, I feel like you've for it to like be only a few years, you've really been felt the wrath of Instagram. Like that's so unfair. Like I've been there for like 8, 9 years, and I've been warned and stuff, but my
Yeah,
account, thank God,
yeah,
like
yeah,
hasn't been taken permanently at all. Um,
yeah.
and I just
But you know
that meant
what? It's just an account. It's just a channel. Like the people I like, their personalities more than accounts. Every so often, you'll get a little bit like drunk with the idea of a celebrity following you, or but the people that actually matter are just the people that you like, and it doesn't matter if they have 50 followers or if they have 500,000 followers. It's like if you like them, you like them. Um,
yeah,
so it's actually
nature.
it's not that bad. Like if it happens, yeah, okay, it sucks, and you sort of clench your fist and you think that Instagram is an evil institution and whatever. But like the people you like, you can typically find them, and if not on Instagram, then on YouTube or your phone or email or
Yeah,
Telegram, whatever. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. No, there's been people. I don't know if you've had before, but like mutuals that you met maybe 15 years ago on a like Tumblr
yeah,
or something. And then they follow you to your MySpace, they follow you to this and that, and you've just stayed as like these mutual friends. You maybe have talked like 4 times
yeah,
in the entire time,
yeah,
but you just always find each other
yeah,
on
exactly.
every, and you don't really know how. They just always pop up, or you always just pop up to them, and that's really cool.
And it's so
Like
strange to me that I have exactly those types of relationships. So like I would write like a blog when I was, I don't know, 16, ages ago. Cringe so hard thinking about it. But, I did that for a while. And I made a couple of friends on that thing that we have this like odd relationship where we just feel like we're friends that go way back, and we talk every 2 years, and it's really nice.
Yeah.
Um, and they have a very special part in my heart, Whereas
Yeah.
in my day to day life, I forget people all the time. Like I interact with so many people that it's sometimes difficult to just maintain like the actual little categorization of who they are, because they don't have an anchor point. And I think maybe Instagram is one of those anchor points, or maybe the blog that I would write is an anchor point, or Tumblr, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just the like compartmentalization of social networks is hard to maintain by yourself. So you need to tie it to like a channel. And I think Instagram, I hate it with a passion in lots of different ways. But in some ways, I think it's actually quite beautiful in what it ultimately has facilitated, even though, I may disagree with business practices or whatever. I think it is a platform where I met people that I genuinely like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and it's very special. It's like, and you do know people like intimately without even obviously in them intimately.
Yeah.
Like it's just the little specific parts of their brain
Yeah.
that make a very special relationship that, yeah, people who don't really spend time online underestimate. They don't think it's real, blah, blah, blah. It's like, well, I know more about them than their partner does,
Yeah. Yeah.
almost.
Exactly. Exactly.
And their little like secrets and the inner workings of things. Um, they've told me things they probably haven't told their real life best friend.
Yeah.
Um, different type of, yeah, intimacy, and it's very special.
Yeah. Um,
Hard
yeah, definitely. There's a lot of good stuff there. Let's save it for take two. Um,
yeah,
so nice to talk to you. Thank you again. Like I really sincerely appreciate you taking the time to talk to me and to agree to do this. Um,
so good. Thank you,
I
Simon.
I will yeah, I'll have a quick review of this thing. I'll upload it somewhere. I'll send it to you, and if you like it, we can share it with the world. Um,
The
yeah, I know your day is just starting out. I hope you have a really lovely day. Here it's yeah, it's 10:20 p.m. It's late, past my bedtime.
I haven't looked at the clock, so
All right, well that's probably a good thing. Yeah.
cool. Well, yeah. Thanks for this. I've had a lot of fun.
Yeah, me too. Have have a great rest of your day. We'll talk soon.
Fuck yeah.
Bye.
Have a good one.
You too.
Yeah.